Gigantamax Butterfree comes to Pokemon in 2 days, or about 48 hours from the time that I'm going to be dropping this video on the channel. Being a bug and a flying type makes Gigantamax Butterfree double weak to rock type attacks, which makes this Dynamax Kabuto, or in its evolved form Kabutops, the best counter that we have in the game. Right? Unfortunately not. But at least they potentially could still be shiny some other time. And personally, because shiny Kabuto is somewhat pretty stunning for myself, it's almost forgivable that they've given us Kabuto at the moment to hunt in Dynamax battles in Pokemon Go, despite the fact that for Gigantamax Butterfree, it's not going to be very useful. And the main reason for this is, if we go to the Pokédex for Kabutops, and if you haven't seen it already, there's actually a battle tab, which if you click on the battle tab and scroll down, gives you the type effectiveness, what it's weak to, what it's resistant to, and scroll down a little bit further and it also shows you the available moves that each of these Pokemon are going to have. And for Kabutops, though it is a rock and a water type, it only learns fast attacks of the rock, ground, water or bug typings, which means in Dynamax battles it's only able to use a max move of a typing that matches one of those fast moves, fighting ground, water or bug. So the Kanto region has a bunch of other rock types available, most of which actually show up on the Kanto Pokédex earlier than number 140, which Kabuto sits at. And one that I'll immediately bring to your attention is going to be, swipe back twice, Omanyte, which evolves into Omastar. Same typing, same resistances, same weaknesses, but Omastar, of course, learns a rock type fast attack, which would be absolutely great to use against Gigantamax Butterfree. Omanyte is coming to Dynamax battles in Pokemon Go on Monday, the 4th of August, which is the day following Gigantamax Butterfree. It even shows up on the Pokédex before Kabutops. That, and we have a few other decent options. In Kanto, you've got Geodude, Onix, Rhyhorn, Omanyte and Kabutops, as well as Aerodactyl. That's the one Pokemon that shows up after Kabutops. Oh, let's not forget we actually do have a rock type. My bad, Pokemon Go. I completely forgot about Shuckle, which does learn a rock type fast move. So I mean, of course, it's going to be super effective. And also fear not for all those Blissey haters that keep on telling me that Blissey isn't a good tank because it's got low defense. Well, don't worry, Shuckle's got you covered there because it has the highest defense in the game. But anyway, despite all that, like I said, Kabuto actually turns out to be one of my favourite shinies in the game. I absolutely love that lime green. And for that reason alone, I'm going to do a couple more for this video before we actually get into counters that I'd suggest you do use for Gigantamax Butterfree this weekend. Kind of ironic though that if you're battling a Kabuto, it could use rock moves against you. Leave behind Urshifu, and our next shiny check, ooh, not this one either. I've done a number of these now and I can't seem to get anything higher than 760. The Hundo CP you want to be looking for is 783. Third shiny check, yes, it's still bad IVs, 748. They're getting worse. This is going to be the fourth and last shiny check for this video. Leave behind Cubfu, and I don't even know why I want a good one anyway. Like, I just spent the whole few minutes saying why it's not going to be useful. I really only want the shiny. Okay then, well, let's go ahead and talk counters. Okay, so the fact of the matter with all of this is that even though I just made what I think probably a pretty big deal about the fact that we don't actually have a really good effective rock type for these battles, this isn't actually as big a deal as I made it out to be, because Gigantamax Butterfree, I'm anticipating it's not going to be that difficult at all. And my main reasons for the assumption is due to its base stats, particularly its defense and its stamina. Butterfree has a defensive stat of 137 compared to the likes of Snorlax, which sits at 169, and its stamina or its HP stat sits at 155, which is literally less than half of Snorlax's. Compare it to the stats of Lapras, defense at 174, stamina at 277, and Lapras being the first Gigantamax Pokemon that I can actually quite comfortably say is an easy duo in Pokemon Go, despite having higher stats right across the board. After successfully beating one of these battles, you're going to be encountering these Butterfrees at level 20, meaning the Hundo CP as shown here is going to be 1044, which is the absolute lowest CP that we've seen on any other Gigantamax Pokemon pre-existing, and most Gigantamax Pokemon that are still yet to come, aside from maybe Meowth, Pikachu, and Eevee when we do eventually see those. moves. So despite not having the absolute best counters or the best typings available, I'm not picking that these are going to be too difficult to take down. This is also the reason why I've kind of procrastinated a little bit on this video, because more than likely, if you've kind of been playing the game for the last couple of months or so, you're likely already going to have the Pokemon that you need to take this down already powered up and ready to go in your bag. So first up, let's take a look at what's best to use as a tank for Gigantamax Butterfree. So first, to take a look at the charge attacks that we can be expecting from Butterfree itself. We can see from the Pokedex we've got 2 bug type moves, 1 psychic, and the first and number 1 tank that I'd like to suggest for this list is going to be Zamazenta in the crown form. As a fighting and steel type, it makes it super resistant to bug type moves, and also being a steel type, it negates the weakness that fighting types will have to psychic moves. If you are going to use Zamazenta and you haven't done this already, don't forget to go in and unlock your max guard. Unlocking the max guard and leveling it up as high as you can is going to be crucial in helping you to last longer in the battle. It also unlocks Zamazenta's secret ability of being able to actually start the battle with a shield already in play, which brings me on to the next tank suggestion, Crown Sword Zacian. Crown Sword Zacian is a steel and a fairy type, again making it resistant to bug type moves as well as psychic. So good strategies for these battles, if possible, is always to go on with different tanks that cover different typings so that you have more coverage against all possible movesets. So if you can, consider using a Zamazenta and a Zacian. Use your Zamazenta to take all the moves from the bug typing attacks, and then you have Zacian in the back to take all the moves from your psychic attacks. The third tank that I'm going to suggest as the outright best for this scenario, my favorite is always Dynamax Blissey. Now, being a normal type, Dynamax Blissey isn't resistant to any of Butterfree's movesets, but as we all probably know by now, and I'd like to think that most of us would already have one of these ready to go in the bag, Blissey's absolutely insanely high HP stat allows it to take stupid amounts of damage, but its high HP allows it to be able to heal any other Pokemon that you have in your team using 1 to 2 max spirits. It's an insanely good Pokemon to have in your arsenal, and to be honest, I think for myself, purely having that healing factor at hand to be able to use when you need it, especially in smaller groups, personally I would probably choose that over Zacian. But again, I'm just looking forward to seeing how it's going to do to tank Butterfree's moves versus Zacian on the weekend. For Zacian and Zamazenta, you want to use the fast attack Metal Claw. For Blissey, you want to use the fast attack Pound. For the fourth tank, however, I'm going to suggest Dynamax Corviknight. As a steel and flying type, Dynamax Corviknight is double resistant to bug type moves and single resistant to psychic. And for Corviknight, you want to use the fast move Sand Attack, because everything else is too slow to charge the max meter. A few other tanks you can consider: Dynamax Charizard, Dynamax Moltres, Gigantamax Snorlax are all going to do you fine as well. We also have Dynamax Metagross, which would be excellent to tank psychic and literally any of the flying types, as well as fire types, which will be okay to deal with fire type attacks. Which, talking fire, brings us on to the best attackers that we're going to be using for Gigantamax Butterfree. And going in order purely based off which attackers are going to be hitting hardest, your number 1 attacker for Gigantamax Butterfree this weekend is going to be the fire type Gigantamax Cinderace. This is the one that I'll be using. It's a level 15, 98%. I was quite lucky to get that. And I haven't worked on any of its other max moves aside from its max attack, max fireball, because I personally never intend for this to be out in the field at any other time aside from the max phase. I really don't have any other reason at the moment to use particles to unlock or power up max guard or max spirit. However, in the unlikely situation that I will need it to be on the field to help charge the max meter because for some reason it might be the last Pokemon left, you want it to have the fast attack Tackle, as that's the fastest fast move that it has. Our second best attacker on the list is going to be Gigantamax Toxtricity, and you want to use this one with the fast move Spark, again in the unlikely situation that you end up being left with this on the field. But if you've got Zamazentas and Blisseys, I doubt that that's going to be likely. Our third attacker on the list, and I haven't even powered on up, but that's going to be Gigantamax Charizard as a fire type. It'll hit super hard. Also good to note, as a dual fire and flying type, it's going to double resist bug type moves, so if you have to use it in a pinch, may not be a bad tank. Charizard only has access to one turn fast move, which is Dragon Breath, which unfortunately is going to require an elite TM if you don't already have it. The next attacker on the list is a good one because we actually get one for free with the Gigantamax Butterfree Battle Day lead up timed research, which we've had in the bag since Monday gone, so I'm hoping that everyone should have claimed it by now, but that is going to be Dynamax Darmanitan. And well, this is my one here, and I've not powered up because I don't need to, because I've already got the other stuff. But if you don't have the other stuff, use that. It's decent enough to be number 4 on the list, so must be good. A couple more attackers that you can consider will be Dynamax Zapdos with Thundershock as the fast move. Again, Thundershock is a legacy move, so if you don't have it, you'll need an Elite TM. If you have to, Charge Beam will have to do. And lastly, Dynamax Moltres, which is going to need the fast attack Fire Spin for it to be super effective during the max phase. Actually, looking at Butterfree again, it does take super effective from flying as well, so I guess it almost doesn't matter what move Moltres has at that point. So all in all, I've said all of that to say that this is going to be my team that I'll be using for Gigantamax Butterfree. Zamazenta to tank all the bug type moves, Blissey to tank everything else, Gigantamax Cinderace to deal the damage, and I'd imagine, just like Lapras, we probably shouldn't have any trouble taking this down with only 2 players. We're going to find out in a couple of days. So again team, I want to thank you as always for watching. I do hope you find the video helpful. Another reminder, the Discord's there, feel free to jump in. Check out the channel membership options if you want to get a little bit more involved or would like an opportunity to be on my friends list. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and look forward to Sunday or maybe Saturday for you if you're on the other side of the world. We will be able to show you just how hard Gigantamax Butterfree is going to be to take down. I hope you're looking forward to the challenge, as am I, but for now, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. But that's alright. Hush.